Hi everyone, welcome back to Season 6, Episode 9 of The Canary Room. Another action-packed show in store for you today, but before I do, a couple of thank yous. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. If you enjoy the videos, please subscribe, and please hit a like on them as well. It lets me know that I'm doing okay. We've just passed 16,000 subscribers, which I'm absolutely thrilled with. And also massive thanks to Matt Dando. We filmed with Matt a couple of weeks back now. The show went out last week along with the Native Diaries. So yeah, thanks for everyone who commented and liked to watch the video. And of course the Native Diaries season, which is getting a little following as well. So thank you everybody for that. Coming up today, well, it wouldn't be the Canary Room without the usual heartbreak and drama, would it? Come on. No, of course it wouldn't. So we've got heartbreak and drama in store for you today. We'll catch up with the Fifes. We've got some very exciting news with the Red Poles. Doesn't want to speak too soon. And the Norwich and the new colours. So you know what to do, everyone. Grab yourself a cuppa, sit back and enjoy the show. So Five Wise in the room. It's been, since you were last here, it's been a kind of pretty challenging 2 weeks, to be fair. Now, we've done a couple of things. So regular viewers to the channel will be aware that we had a couple of hens, 3 hens in fact, that we'd had last year that hadn't laid, and they'd shown no signs. Well, I've got some news on those. So first one is we had a variegated buff hen. I've now moved her outside into the garage. She isn't going to lay. She's been mated. She's, built a nest. She isn't going to lay. So it's 3 years. I'm just going to retire her now. The little green buff hen down here, she hasn't, she's been mated. She's called Tread. She's been mated, but she hasn't built up. Or she's built a small nest but hasn't shown any signs of laying. So what I have done actually is I've put some of the grey wing eggs underneath her. So she's sitting on 4 full eggs. And then the third hen is our cinnamon, or fawn rather, hen. Now she didn't lay last year. But she did rear for me last year. She has been mated by the cinnamon cock in the last couple of days. In fact, you could probably see just out of shot, he's mating the cinnamon hen above me. So the fawn cock, rather, and the fawn hen have mated. And she is just starting to build. So we'll find out in the next sort of probably 7 to 10 days or so whether she lays. If she doesn't lay, then I'll do what I've done with the other hen, which is I'll set some eggs under her, and she can rear, and I'll use her as a foster. So that's it with the sort of the hens that hadn't really done anything. There was a dark green yellow hen, which wasn't in great shape, so I've moved that out into the garage as well. Just to give myself a little bit of cage space for chicks, because as you know from the last episode, we have chicks, and the majority of those chicks are starting to flourish and feather and look quite nice. More of that a little bit later on. So what else is happening in here? Well, we've got a good flush of chicks actually, out of a few nests, and then we had quite a few dead in shell and quite a few clear eggs. Now, it's to be expected early in the season with unflighted birds. It's to be expected. So it's happened. What we've done is we've sort of reset the hens. They're all down again. They've started laying again. Some of them are set already. Some of them are laying again as we speak. So as I look across the bank of, essentially there's 12 hens here, and then there's another 4 hens underneath. So there's 16 hens now in this bank of cages. The hen in number 7's got chicks and is building up again. She's been mated. The hen in 8 has got chicks, but she's not rearing them. She's on eggs again. Hen in number 9 just gone down, started to lay. Hen in number 10 is set. Hen in number 11 hasn't shown any interest until the last couple of days. She's been mated and she's starting to pick up. the buff hen, cinnamon buff hen in cage 12. Well, she's got chicks, and she is being mated again with a fawn cock. Now, I'm going to show you this video. This is the cinnamon hen and the fawn cock. Now, she is calling tread. I have put the fawn cock in there, and you can see throughout the length of this video that he has 4 failed attempts to mate her. So he jumps on, but they don't mate. And he does that 4 times. I'm not sure if he just got a bit camera shy, to be fair. Quite possibly. She's still calling tread to him now. He has just mated her on the nest. So hopefully, he's already got young with her, so hopefully there'll be a few more. So onto the sort of the young on this side. There's 2 nests of young. I have had other eggs hatch out. I've been away for a couple of days. I had some eggs hatch out. They didn't make it past 2 or 3 days, unfortunately. So that was a little bit upsetting. And actually, I've got a bit of a challenge at the moment because the clear line of birds are doing okay. The dark birds, I lost a really, really nice dark buff cock. And I started the season with 4 dark buff cocks. I've got 1 left now, which has really kind of scuppered me. I've got a dark buff hen in there, which laid for me last year. She's not picking up yet. She's with an unflighted yellow cock bird. So the dark birds at the moment are causing me a little bit of anxiety. I've really got to hope that I get a good, at least 1 good round out of them, possibly 2. Otherwise, the dark line is going to be difficult to maintain in future years. So I need to get at least a dozen dark birds out this year if I've got any chance of really trying to rebuild that line over future years. So keep watching for that. Oh, I might have just suggested we're doing an episode 7 or a series 7 of the Canary Room. He literally is, I don't know whether you can catch this, but he's literally trying to jump on and mate her, but he's just not getting that good connection yet. Keep trying, you'll get there. So, sort of five-wise on this side, okay. Again, while I was away, I had a beautiful nest of 4 young in cage 7, and they were some of the best birds. I put the same pair back as I had last year. They were some of the best birds I've bred. In fact, I've got a hen here and a hen here and a hen over there and a cock bird that are all bred the same way out of that pair. Such, I think, is the quality of them. They did well on the show bench for me, but I think they're nice. They've got the style I like in a fife. What's been surprising and heartbreaking in equal measures is I rung those birds. Now I close ring my birds. I'd rung those birds before I went away. And when I came back, I looked in the nest, and it was a catastrophic sight. It looked like the hen had taken exception to the sort of bright blue nest rings, rather, and she turfed 2 of the young out. Now, people who are looking after the birds for me have done a sterling job. They've been in every couple of hours feeding them, topping them up with young in the nest. But obviously, they haven't seen them. They haven't been looking for them, to be fair. And she just turfed them out. Now, I can only assume, looking at the damage that was done to the birds, that she didn't like the rings. So I'm going to have to cover them for the next round. So that's our fifes. We'll come back and have a look at the white line a little bit later on. But that's our fifes. So, we've got some numbers, with double figures of chicks. We've got a load of hens down, sitting on eggs now. I've checked some of the eggs that are laid in the second round this time, and they are full, which is great. So fingers crossed they rear, to full term, and we should have a really nice flush of chicks throughout May. Speaking of chicks in May, let's have a look at the Redpoll Diaries. Well, look, we are absolutely delighted. I am absolutely delighted to tell you that we have Redpoll chicks. Okay, so the heartache of last year so far hasn't been repeated yet. Although there's still time, let's be honest. We have a pied pair here from Kenny Masterman. She'd laid 5 eggs and they'd hatched while I was away, so they are now 3, 4, 5 days old. I think we're going to ring them shortly, but I will cover the eggs and I'll show you a little bit about that later on, or perhaps in another episode. So we've got some chicks. We've got 4 little pied red polls, which is great. But that's not all that's going on in the Red Poll Diaries. No, not at all. There are another pair here that we got off Chris Harrison. This pair here, which is a pied cock and a gate split pied hen. They've built a nest. I haven't seen them laying yet. There's no eggs yet, but they have built up. And our pair of cobalts that we got from Alan, we got the cobalt hen. I'd bred the cobalt cock a couple of years back. They've laid their 2nd egg today. The pair of normals have built a nest. Now, they built a nest a while ago, and they just keep relining it. They haven't laid yet, but I'm not too concerned about that. So, got a pair of pieds here, which are still to do anything, and then this pair at the top here are still to really get going. I'm not 100% certain. Now, I thought it was a pair, and I've seen them feed, but I'm not 100% certain, to be honest. It may be that we've got 2 cocks there. So, Red Poll Diaries. Red Poll Diaries, always an enjoyable part of the show, and some chicks just to focus on. So keep everything crossed for them, everybody. They will hopefully rear quite quickly. The hen's out the nest. She's got lots of things to feed them on. There's some egg food there, there's some peas, some sweet corn, there's some live food, there's some soaked seed, there is some frozen pinkies. So she's got basically everything she could want and need to feed them on, and seems to be doing a great job of doing that so far. Touch wood. So, good news with them. Let's jump now and see our friends in the Norwich Notebook, shall we? See how they're getting on. So, good and bad news about the Norwich. So, couple of things that we've done. We have got Norwich eggs, and we've got full Norwich eggs under feeders at the moment. So they're due to hatch, I think, in the next sort of 4 or 5 days or so. So by the time we come back into the room, hopefully we'll have some Norwich young to report on. We have had a Norwich young egg chip out. But unfortunately, it didn't make it, and as I say, I wasn't here to do anything about it. So those are the risks. The pair behind me here, which is a buff hen and a yellow cock, a 2-year-old buff hen and an unflighted yellow cock. He has filled eggs, which is brilliant. They're under one of the grey wings, so fingers crossed all is okay with them and they hatch out. You see the shot here. I mean, they're pair bonded, although he has mated another buff hen I've got in the shed. They're pair bonded. He is feeding her, you can see from the shot there, which is lovely to see. We've got another pair of Norwich here. Again, these are from Keith. This is a really, really nice hen and a really nice buff cock bird. They have filled eggs, and now she's on 4. Now she's laid a 4th egg today. I've left them under her for now. One of the feeders has just started laying again. I say just started laying. There's actually an egg in the corner. I'm hoping it's not two hens in there and I've got them the wrong way round. Doesn't seem to be, but I'll tell you. I'll let you know if there's more eggs tomorrow. So they're going okay. The Norwich hen in here, the buff hen in here, has also been mated. She had laid 1 egg, hadn't been tread, and then has been calling tread, being mated, so I expect her to lay in the next week or so. Then with our pairs of whites, well, we've got a white cock with a buff hen down. Those eggs are under feeders as well, so fingers crossed they'll be okay. They are full, so hopefully they'll hatch. And then the final pair is from good mates Harwell and Richard. Now, the cock went off, so he's okay now. I've taken him out of the shed and I've sort of put them on a course. But I put one of my clear buff cocks in with the white hen, and they've been feeding each other, so they seem to be getting on quite well. So look, all being well with them, she's picking up now, the white hen. So all being well, the Norwich steady start, which is good. Our other bigger birds in the shed, of course, are the boarders. Now, she's just hell-bent on laying in corners and the likes. First 2 eggs I have set, but it looks like there's nothing in them. So she may go down again. He's an unflighted cock bird. I don't know when he was bred, so I'm not sure yet whether he's sexually mature enough. Can be one of the big problems with boarders. One of the big problems. So, yeah. Speaking of problems, let's go on to our white line. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier in the show, but there's a buff hen and what I think is a yellow cock, and I think it's a yellow cock. I've seen him absolutely bounce. I've seen him go to tread a bird, and I can see him feeding the buff hen at the moment, and they're both sat on the nest, which is peculiar, shall we say. White line, well, we've got the pair of clears in here, which would have been part of the white line. They've got a couple of chicks. They've also got a cinnamon in there. We've got then the hen from Keith. That has got, we thought there might be one. There is one white in there. There's 3 variegators. Lovely little things. There's I've dropped the nest pans to the floor. That's something that I have done in the past, but not systematically. This year I'm going to do it systematically. So you'll notice that round about sort of 10 days-ish, you don't want the birds to spring when you do it. You want them to stay in the nest. But these little birds are venturing out the nest. There's another nest pan on the front of the cage. So what that means is that they can nest quite happily almost straight away. So these 2 pairs, we've got chicks from. Here, the third pair, well, she only had 3 eggs, and I mentioned last time I hadn't checked them. When I eventually checked them, one of them was full. Now, unfortunately, that one didn't hatch, but there was only one full. And then in the final cage, we've got the variegated and we've got the white cock. The variegated yellow and the white cock. Well, she's laid 5 again, and again, they're all empty. So that is now 2 rounds of 5 eggs she's laid, and not one of them's been full. Now, I do know that I put her in with the cock this time round. It was relatively quick when she laid the first egg. I thought we might have caught the sort of 4th and 5th egg, as you sometimes can, but we haven't. So they're clear, but I've got a number of nests that are due to hatch at the same time. So I'm keeping her brooding at the moment, just in case I need to move things around a little bit. Which is something that, I'll often do in the canary room. I'll often sort of move things around. As I'm talking to you on camera, a couple of hens that haven't shown much interest are now picking up a little bit of nesting material. It's getting warmer outside. You might be able to hear, I don't know whether you can over the noise of the birds, you might be able to hear a constant drum beat. We've got a housing estate being built behind us. I thought it was finished. Last year it ruined my season. I noticed it again on Saturday, so they're piling, which is, it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning and it seems to go on till 6 o'clock at night. It's really irritating. Hopefully it won't disturb the birds too much. So that's our white line. We've got 1 white chick. Actually, that's not true. We've got 2 white chicks because we've got a fawn and white chick as well. We've got the blue over here. Now, I paired her with the fawn cock. So anything that visually comes out of that bird with pink eyes will be a hen, and anything that comes out of that with normal eyes will be a cock, but it will be split for cinnamon. And because it's a fawn over a blue, everything that comes out should be allied. I say should be, it almost definitely will be. Unless there's anything funny along the way. So interesting to see what comes out there. They're due to hatch, I think, in about 4 or 5 days' time as well. So all good. Speaking of good, let's have a look at New Colour Corner. So our final part of the show is the new colours. We've got 3 new colour hens in here, red, black, grey wings, all down on eggs. Not all of the eggs that they're down on are theirs. We have got 3 red, black, grey wings on the sticks now. So the term on the sticks is, you know, they're up and out on the perches. I haven't taken them away yet. I will look to take them away in probably 4 or 5 days. There's another round due to hatch, so I'll take them away before those chicks hatch. What I'll probably do is just pop a wire divider between the 2 of them. See how they get on with that. So yeah, we've got 3 grey wings there. We have got some grey wing eggs that are under one of the Fifes at the moment. She's going to be a foster mum for them. So we'll see how they get on, shall we? But yeah, delighted to have some of them this year again. Well, look, if you've got to the end, thanks for watching. That's all we've got time for today. Coming up over the next week, next few weeks actually, we've got 3 more on the road trips planned. So when you watch this, I will be, all being well, in Ireland, in Waterford in Ireland, with world champion Irish fancy canary breeder John Barron. So I'm looking forward to going to see John. We will be back, of course, with the wonderful Mr. Keith Ferry, and we're going to visit Russell Sykes. Now, Russell is a champion breeder of whippets, amongst other things, but has a stunning collection of canaries as well. So something to look forward to. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, hit the subscribe button. If you've enjoyed the video, hit the like. And as always, I love reading your comments below. Until next time, everyone, take care.